Today, I'm going to be talking about Nintendo, the greatest, most influential, and creative console company not only today, but for decades. They make revolutionary consoles, make games for everyone, saved gaming after the crash in 1983, and have great atmosphere and community. However, this video would be longer than my how it could have been improved videos, which is almost half an hour long for each video, if I made this one whole video. So, I'm going to split this into 4 separate videos, one for each of the 4 points. Technically 5, but I'm combining the last 2 previously mentioned. Now, before you, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever opposing console fan you are, starts writing about why your consoles are better, please just watch the whole video. This video is just going to be focused on consoles, so I would prefer you do all your arguments about consoles and this video after you watch it. Any comments about games for the second video, saving gaming for the third, and atmosphere and community for the fourth. And I suppose you do your arguments and miscellaneous items and any of the 4 videos you wish, but please make your argument constructive and cool. You're more likely to hear the specific words a cool person is saying than a screaming person. I know I already do the disclaimer 1 minute in on every video essay I make, but since this is a series of videos on the same topic, I needed to just mention that beforehand. So enough of stalling, let's begin and talk about why Nintendo is underrated, specifically for its revolutionary consoles. First, let's start off with the Nintendo Entertainment System, or simply the Famicom. Now, I know Nintendo has made a best-selling console before that, but it's very different from our definition of consoles today, and this is when Nintendo truly began. Now, the fact that it literally saved gaming is for the other video I mentioned earlier, so that's already an impressive feat, but we're talking about how revolutionary it is. The games are saved for another video, but since the video game technology is based on console technology, I'm just going to mention the technical parts of its most famous games. It introduced Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid. In a time where there were only arcade game machines and very few games for a console, the fact that it even processed the amount of games it did was impressive. Hundreds of fun games were available to be played on this console, and sandbox/exploring games weren't even a thing at this time. Well, they probably were, but to do that at home was another thing. But the NES made that possible, and the simplicity of the NES controller made many games fun and easy to play. Anyways, I could keep on going on, but we have a lot of other consoles to talk about. Well, I know this video is about consoles, and I know way more about consoles than handhelds, but Nintendo has made some pretty revolutionary handhelds that I must mention. It started off with the Game Boy, which introduced Pokemon and Tetris, and while this may look cheap today, this was amazing at the time. This isn't the 20th century we're talking about, remember? Phones were nothing like they were today. They had minimum storage, and were really only used as a portable device in which you can communicate with your friends and family and to take pictures. You didn't play video games on it, and if you did, they were not much different from classics like Pac-Man. But when the Game Boy came, things changed. You could play platformers and sandbox games on something that can fit in your pocket for less than $100. For those who are watching the video and understand all the revolutionary technology Nintendo created and just trying to see what I have to add here, I'm sorry I'm over dramatizing, but people don't appreciate Nintendo either have to be reminded of what Nintendo did or needs to be given a taste of what the outside world was at the time. Anyways, Nintendo didn't stop there. The Game Boy Color came out, which had backwards compatibility, meaning you could insert games from an older console and it works, along with better playing experience and more additional games. In fact, so many of Nintendo's consoles and handhelds had backwards compatibility, which was so nice. But to keep this video short, I'm not going to mention each instance in every product. The internet didn't exist back then. Maybe you Xbox fans think that backwards compatibility is useless. That's because the only thing Xbox focuses on is blasted graphics are just lame compared to the Nintendo's innovation, and all the games you can play on blasted Xbox is literally already on blasted PC because they're off the internet. Thank you. Well, please don't call me by my blasted name. Alright, though, please calm down on your language. Oh great, stop saying bl. But of course that's not enough for you. I'm just asking you to keep your language level based on the level of the topic. Fine. PlayStation fans probably understand a little bit better that backwards compatibility is a big deal, but PlayStation relies way too much on third-party games. Like Mario is the icon of Nintendo, the Spider-Man games are the icon of PlayStation, not even a character they created or revolutionized. And the Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS pushed handheld technology further. Not to mention they all feel different. They aren't an update, they're something entirely new. If someone were to rank all the Xboxes or PlayStations based on how fun they are to play today, if nostalgia is ignored, it would be based on release date order because each console is just an update, but not much different than what Apple does. But each console Nintendo makes is better than the original, but is also different and has different original quality that surpasses all its competitors, but when compared to with other Nintendo consoles, it's really up to taste. Nintendo is improving and revolutionizing, but there's always something in each console that still stands up well today and will stand for a long time. I could make the script hours long to read, but to keep things simple, I'll go and move on. We arrive at the SNES, or the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which introduced games such as Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country, and Yoshi Island. As usual, Nintendo pushed console technology and was able to process racing games on a home console. If I told someone 5 years before that and told them that in less than a decade they would be able to play 3D racing games on an affordable home console, then they would laugh at me. But Nintendo did it. The Yoshi Island games were phenomenal and not only looked amazing but also added more depth to platforming video games. We arrived at the N64 and we got some spectacular 3D video games. 3D sandbox video games. We get Super Mario 64, a game in which you must dive into the different worlds of Bowser's minions and get stars. We get Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which had some groundbreaking exploring to do. We also get introduced to games such as Star Fox and Super Smash Bros. This is like the Iron Age of video games. Maybe crude, but is the start of something big. Almost all the Xbox and PlayStation games people are obsessed about are 3D. Name 3 popular games/franchises mainly played on Xbox and or PlayStation that is 2D in 10 seconds. Okay, I got from Nintendo, I got Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, let's see, what else? Man, my memory. Oh, well, time's off. What did you get? Anyways, those 3D games wouldn't have been possible without Nintendo's discovery and blueprint. If I take out Nintendo from gaming history, then we would be very behind. But if we took out Xbox and PlayStation, there wouldn't be that much change, and Nintendo would be more appreciated, and I wouldn't have to make this video. Xbox and PlayStation are getting a lot of sales and are making high quality products, but they aren't doing much revolutionary things. Well, in the early days, they had innovative ideas, but then they just invested some money to improve upon and get a large return. Apple's not famous for the revolutionary things they do these days. This is what they did before, but then they just kept on repeating the formula. Peaceful doesn't repeat, he innovates. He didn't stop at Gangnam Style's revolutionary impact and just did cures or replicate that with a higher budget. He created new original products, so while he isn't as famous as BTS or Blackpink, he still had a bigger impact on K-pop. In fact, K-pop wouldn't have even been distributed internationally if it weren't for him. Mr. Beast didn't stop and keep repeating the real-life donations and challenges. He innovated and revolutionized and went into gaming, shorts, and more, and had a big impact on the challenge community. He's actually one of the few innovative people that is getting the attention he deserves. Point is that they had a bigger impact. I'm getting inconclusive here, so I'm gonna move on to the next console. Next, we're going to the GameCube. Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, and Animal Crossing are just a couple of the franchises that started here. Many franchises went to a whole new level. Super Mario Sunshine had a story and such freedom of the world. Twilight Princess is considered one of the best Legend of Zelda games and also got launched in the GameCube's successor, the Wii, that actually improves upon the original. In fact, when most people talk about Twilight Princess, they talk about a Wii version because its motion controls make it more fun. Swing your Wii remote and your Sword shall swing too. 3D games also have had improved graphics, such as the games already mentioned, instead of the crude 3D graphics from the 64. Not to mention such a memorable opening when you turn on the GameCube. It is still considered the best console opening to this date. In fact, take a moment to listen and watch this. Next, my personal favorite, the Wii. It introduced the Wii Family series, along with this console stabilizing the relationship between Nintendo and Sega and creating a strong alliance between them. We got Mario and Sonic in the Olympic Games, which brought Sega and Nintendo fans together and brought the long-awaited crossover. And Sonic even got to be playable as a character in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which has some of the most realistic designs of our favorite Nintendo characters. If you only care about super realism and dark stuff, you must play Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Hours worth of cutscenes and character development, and he never had to speak a single sentence to invoke emotion and tell a good story. Back to the Sonic and Mario collab, and at the time, just as insane as Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield collabing in the same movie as their respective characters. But what did you know? It happened, and we got perhaps the best Spider-Man movie and Phase 4 movie of all time, and maybe even one of the best MCU movies of all time. Nowadays, people got so used to it that they don't even take much of a close look at how insane this would have been back then. Just like how people don't appreciate their electronics after a while. Cough, cough. Another cool thing was the Wii Shop, which had some of the most iconic older Nintendo titles in it, which helped preserve Nintendo's long and rich history of video games. Anyways, enough of talking about games. I must talk about the controls. We had motion controls before all the VR and other stuff PlayStation and Xbox created. If someone wanted to get inside a video game, they played a Wii. The character you were playing responded to the motions of your Wii remote. Let's say you're playing basketball in Wii Sports Resort. Act as if you're holding a basketball and the Wii remote in your hand. Dribble, throw, steal. All these things were possible with the motion of your Wii remote. Or maybe you're doing sword fighting in Wii Sports Resort. Your Wii remote is your sword, so enjoy battling with clever and simple motions. You can block, attack, and destroy the defense of other players, all with one button and the motion of your Wii remote. If that wasn't enough, you can also point at the screen by using the Wii remote. Let's say you want to shoot some targets, or perhaps fire your cannon at a giant blooper. Point to where you want to shoot and click the button. And you also have the nunchuck, which acts as a second hand, so you can do boxing and biking and so much more. There were so many things you can do on the Wii, but that brings gaming to life. I know the most about the Wii, which is why I have a lot of more knowledge about this console. If I brought someone for every console who has a similar relationship between me and my Wii, then this video could easily be more than an hour long. Generations worth of consoles and handhelds, and many of their experts are going to make a formidable opponent. Anyways, let's go to the Wii U. Some franchises the Wii U brought were Splatoon and Mario Maker. This console is a combination of the Wii and iPads, and that brought people of many different tastes together. Maybe you prefer to look at a big screen and use console controllers, or maybe you prefer to just have the screen and controls in your hand. We, you, could play together. Sorry, I had to say that, but it was pretty cool at the time. And now we have the Switch, which is still making lots of sales today. For franchises, we don't know yet, because a franchise is only a franchise when we see some sequels to it. And this is Nintendo's latest console, so we don't know what games we see get released are one-offs or the beginnings to a large franchise. The cool thing about this console is that it had remakes from a lot of other consoles, so it helped preserve Nintendo's culture in video games. This console is both a handheld and a home console, which is a pretty cool innovation. We also have motion controls, along with the controllers be able to detach into two different ones in case you have a friend over. And Xbox fans would think the Switch ripped off their controller, even though, for that logic, they ripped off the PlayStation controller, which ripped off the 64. Not to mention, Nintendo directly aided in the original PlayStation, and so much of the Xbox is based on the PS, so... Anyways, I think it is time to conclude this video. In conclusion, Nintendo created some amazing gaming products, and in this video we explored the consoles which set the bar to how consoles should be, even though PlayStation and Xbox got popular by using the strategy Apple uses, which actually took a strategy from them, which was copy-paste and make a few changes and repeat. However, if it weren't for Nintendo setting the bar, we would have so many different, smaller and separate warring console companies out there, all containing a piece of something we want. Similar to the current and hopefully about to end streaming wars, which we have so many different services, each containing a piece of something we want. And if it weren't for Nintendo, we would be nowhere near to where we are today with the amazing technology Nintendo created and or revolutionized, such as sandbox games, 3D technology, motion controls, handhelds, detachability, backwards compatibility, and so much more. Because Nintendo invented, while others took notes. If there are no creators, there are no note-takers. So remember that the next time you or someone else thinks Nintendo is horrible or overrated. If Nintendo's that, then what is Xbox and PlayStation, who watched and then became interested to throw some money in and got success off it, even though they will probably deny it. If Nintendo is overrated and horrible, so is Lord of the Rings, which was a start to modern fantasy, and Charlie Chaplin, who played a very big role in movie industry, and so many more OGs. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!